everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP Chat. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current work in progress, or WIP, and you can pull out whatever it is that you are working on, whether it be another craft project, cleaning up around your house, doing chores, boring stuff, fun stuff, driving around while you're at work, whatever it is that you want to be doing. There is no right way or wrong way to WIP and Chat. Honestly, WIP and Chats are the best because it makes it feel like you're hanging out with someone and it helps pass the time. So, I am starting a brand new WIP today. This is a Nightmare for Alice from Bella Sephina. I will link the unboxing for that one up in the eye. If you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and other crafting related content. I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Choo choo. If you have been here before, hi, welcome back. Okay, so my kiddo is loud and proud. I don't know what she's rambling about, but she's very much awake. I've got a couple things going on my desk here. I've got my cute little note, very official. If you guys did not see the video where I unboxed the Diamond Painting Drills round crystal kit, I have pulled out a bunch of colors. This stack here are colors, exact duplicates for what's in my canvas already. Move them to the side. I pulled out these two different shades of blue that I thought might work well on Alice. These shades of green that I was thinking of possibly using in the stars. There's green stars and orange hearts all throughout this canvas. And I was thinking that these, a lot of them already have AB in them. So I don't know. I'm just pulling out what I think I could use. And then I have a couple orange options here as well. If you guys did not know, Diamond Painting Drills, I'm going to just put this back here so you guys can marvel how beautiful this is. Diamond Painting Drills is one of the sponsors of Alice in a Winter Wonderland. If you use the code #Alice, which I will put that across the screen here, that will save you at checkout. It is not an affiliate link or anything like that. I already have a bunch taken out, which is why it looks a little bit empty. And then I have a couple, these are DaddaMonster.com metallics. And then we've got our beautiful DiamondPaintingDrills.com round crystals. Now, silly me, I thought I had square crystals. I bought round crystals. That works out really well for this canvas. And then I got a couple just stragglers of other special drills that I have. This box is fantastic. So I did want to share that with you guys. Go check them out. And I'm super, super thankful for them to be one of our sponsors. All right, so before we get super into the actual whipping and chatting, I'm going to unbox this with you guys. This is from Munimade. No, it is not a tray. I'm a little bit surprised the box is the size it is. It's been sitting here for a little bit, but I've just been under the weather and, you know, life. I totally just put that in the wrong spot. So, I'm actually going to pull this off camera to make sure there's no, here we go. So this here says that they are now on YouTube. Very cool. If you guys want to screenshot that and pull up the QR code. Let's see what we got. I know what I got. I just wanted to make sure that there's nothing. Ooh. I did not know this. Is this new? Somebody, I'm sure somebody will know. That there's a coupon code at the bottom of your packing slip. So, let's see. What did we get? Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff in here. Okay. Oh. Let's make sure. Okay. So, well packaged. What do we got here? Ooh. Ooh. What is this? It's a Santa. It's just like a squishy, I guess. It's covered in like glitter from the bag, but I think it's just like a play. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but thank you. Here's a big old Christmas tree. Oh, Lindsay, thank you for your order. Merry Christmas. Don't celebrate Christmas, but I do appreciate the sentiment behind it. Here is the business card, and then all of her info right there. And then I will give this to my kiddo because she'll play with it. It's a green ribbon. Let's see if I can get this off. The green ribbon actually matches my canvas. You guys, this canvas, it's not massive, but it's big in all directions, and it just takes up a lot of space on my desk. So I got one of her trash cans. If you guys haven't seen these are a newer item in her shop. It has the, you see that? The M on the bottom. And then it is, oh, okay. There's already trash in it for you guys. There's some confetti. Just put that right in the real trash. I sound like a Debbie Downer right now in this video. So you put your trash drills in, and then it has a locking mechanism. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that on camera very well. It's a little bit hard to see in person. And then it's got the little diamond on top. This is supposed to be like fully functioning, fully locking, so that if you spill your drills over, they're not going to fall onto your workstation. So very cute. Thank you. All right. So, let's see. I've got 75 different things on my desk. I have my water. You guys, I have so many pens just like laying around. I don't even know where to put them all at the moment. So let's see. I have these pulled out. I don't usually go over my accessories, but this is a brand new canvas, and, you know, a lot of us like to coordinate some of our stuff. So this is my Cheshire Cat pen from Kevin over at Kevin's Creations. Kevin is also one of the sponsors of our events. Let me tell you, he sent me a sneak peek of a pen he designed for the event. It's gorgeous. And then this is not Carlton sweater. Something sweater from Lazy River. I love the colors in this. I love the segments in these. But this has a straightener on the back. This has a large metal 7-placer. And I just have a couple others. I'm just gonna shove them in the tainer, as my daughter calls them. And then this sweet little Alice minder was sent to me as a gift from my dear friend Miranda. Check her out. And then this is a tray. This is, oh, there we go. That's a good angle. From Karen. We're all mad here. This is super cute. So I just got a bunch of stuff on my desk. So, let's see. Does anybody else find it, like, daunting and satisfying when you first start a canvas? I just realized, there we go. I don't know how you guys do it when you start a canvas, but I like to have a piece of release paper or parchment paper or parchment squares, things like that, so that I can put my hand down. So, let's see, let's see. It is Sunday here. It is supposed to be snowing tonight. There we go. We shall see. We shall see. I'm going to move that out of the way. Excuse me. You guys, I already feel like I am a mess. And if you didn't know what I meant, like, I literally mean, like, I'll just put a piece of parchment. Oh, that's upside down. I feel like if there were ever a time that I'd be like, let's redo this WIP Chat, it should be now. But listen, you guys are all here for the true hot mess that is me and everything that comes along with me, right? Are we not? Okay. Let's pull out a couple colors. So, how are you guys all doing? Like I said, today is Sunday, and hopefully, if all things go as planned, you guys will be seeing this on Monday. Just a friendly reminder for anyone who is, excuse me, participating in Alice in the Winter Wonderland. This video will include one of my Easter eggs so that you can try to be a featured account. If you do not know what that means, that means I will be putting something up on the screen, like a little GIF, a little photo, a little something like that. It'll be on the screen for, like, fractions of a second. It won't be on the screen for 4 or 5 seconds. Sometimes I put little GIFs and stuff in my video just to be entertaining in general. These are a little bit different. Trying to see. Hopefully this, sometimes when they're clear, let me know if you guys have this issue. Totally sidetracked, but sometimes it's hard for me to see the drills, so I'm going to just put some in there while I talk. So anyway, I will be putting in some Easter eggs. Now, what does that mean for you? If you see the Easter egg, you screenshot it, you send it to me. You can DM me on Instagram, or you can send it to me in an email. All my information is listed down below. The first person to do that will become my featured account for the next video for my event. So the weekly tea party. And what does that mean for you? That means that if you are the featured account, you can either choose to use your spot for yourself to feature, you know, your Instagram account, or if you have a small business, to feature your small business, things like that. However, if you want to, you can use your time slot to share a small business you love, for example, or something like that. I have had both previously. I have had people for this event already want to use their time slot for not themselves. So I am very flexible, but the whole point of it is so that you have an opportunity to share what it is that you love, or to bring new eyeballs to you. And it's solely meant to help build and strengthen our community. So with that being said, the point I'm making is that if you find it in this video and you let me know, the next event video will be coming this coming week, and it already has its featured account. So whoever gets it for this WIP Chat will get it for the following week. Hopefully that wasn't overly confusing. So, it's so weird. I just did a square canvas. I don't know why I just questioned it. I just finished Cali Girl from Oraloa. The post review for that has been filmed. It is currently processing while I am chatting here with you guys. I need to refill my pen, and I don't really want to, so I'm going to just grab a different one. I just totally lost my train of thought. My kid is throwing me for a loop right now. Also, there are very faint guide circles on here. If you don't know what that means like the symbol. So this right here is a 4. Around the 4 is a small circle. It's meant to show you, it's guiding you where to place your drill. That's great. That's fine. I have no issues with guide circles. I know it's very polarizing. There are some people who like absolutely hate it. Some people who are completely unbothered by it. The problem with the guide circles is that if you don't get your drills on it well enough that you can see it underneath. But look, I'm not a perfectionist by any means. And I know there are plenty of people out there who really want everything to be lined up perfectly. And like, you do you, boo. There is no right way or wrong way to diamond paint. And I know there are some people out there that are like, that's absolutely incorrect. There's definitely wrong ways. And it's like, what works for you may not work for someone else. You know, what's good for the goose isn't always good for the gander. If you've ever heard that phrase. I know there are plenty of people out there who exist who don't multi-place at all. And there are other people out there who will use a multi-placer on both sides of their pen. Like, they just don't like single placing. Like, everybody, there's always something for someone. And, but I didn't notice that so much when I did the unboxing. So I just wanted to point that out. So I will say, this tray is really beautiful. But the clear bottom, which I have over here, plus the glitter, is making it a little bit hard to see the lighter drills. So I might actually put those into a different tray and try this with darker drills. But for now, we're just going to talk about this. I am, I don't even know how many minutes into this video. And I haven't even talked about my weekend. It's been one of those kind of weeks. It's funny, every time I talk to my mom or my mother-in-law, they're like, oh, what did you do today? And it's like, the same thing we did yesterday. A whole lot of nothing. Which, speaking of my mother-in-law, I have a funny story I want to tell you guys. Let me actually, oh, crapola. Where are my tweezers? La, la, la. Why do I feel like that's actually the right one? It is the right one. Do you guys ever do that? I do that all the time, where I'm like, oh crap, I placed that in the wrong place, and then I realize it was the right place the whole time. So let me grab a sip of water. So last week, or the week before, I don't even know at this point anymore, some time ago, I kept saying to my husband, I was like, something going on with your mom? And he's like, why? What's up? And I'm like, every time I call your mom, it rings once, goes right to voicemail, and then she hasn't called me back. And this is, if you guys did not know, most of the time, I can't speak forever, but like most of the time, I talk to my parents and my mother-in-law daily. And if not daily, like every other day. So it was a little bit weird to me that my mother-in-law wasn't answering my calls. She wasn't returning any of my messages. She wasn't responding to any of my text messages. And I was like, this is weird. And he's like, it is a little weird. And I was like, I think that your mom blocked me. And he's like, why would you think that? And I'm like, because I just have this sneaking suspicion. I said, if your mom was like, oh, let me send her phone call to voicemail, then it wouldn't be ringing once and then going to voicemail. I'm actually going to transfer these light drills as I talk. And he's like, oh, I don't know. So he's like, let me try something. And so he blocked my number, and then he had me call, and it did the exact same thing. It rang once, went to voicemail, and then I left him a message, and he's like, it doesn't show that I have a message. And I'm like, that's so weird. Now listen, I'm sure there are people in my life at some point who have blocked me and I didn't realize it, but this was like super apparent that something was going on. So I'm talking to my mother-in-law. Where's that random square drill from? And I had said to her, you know, I think that you may have blocked me. Oh, my husband had actually, like, sent her a message on Facebook or whatever, and was like, hey, Mom, call Lindsay's phone when you have a moment. And the way it worked, which I'm not surprised by, is, sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed and it's not working. Even though I was blocked, she could still call me. Okay, cool. I wasn't 100% sure how that worked, but we figured it out. So anyway, long story short, she calls me and I'm talking to her and I'm like, is there a reason you haven't returned any of my calls? And she's like, what do you mean? And I go, I've called you like every day this week. And she's like, I didn't know that. Now, my mother-in-law, I love her dearly. She is one of those people who always erases her call log. She, like, at the end of the day, she clears out her phone history. Like, is there something she has to hide? I don't think so. But, like, I don't clear my text messages or my call log or anything like that. Although I did start erasing text messages recently because I found out that it was actually taking up space and I'm running out of space in my, like, Google Drive. That's not the point of this. Anyway, so I was like, I'm pretty sure that you accidentally blocked me. And she's like, no, I would never do that. And I'm like, hence the word accidentally. And she's like, well, I don't even know how to do that. And I'm like, it's pretty easy. And then she starts talking about, oh yeah, I know how to block people, as if she does it all the time. And I'm like, okay, well, can you see if you blocked me? And my mother-in-law is not the kind of person that can check something on her phone while she's on her phone, which is fine. Not everybody, like, my mother is not one of those people you can put, like, she can't put you on speakerphone and do something else, because the second she's paying attention to something else, she's not paying attention to you anymore, which is one of her favorite pastimes, is actually doing something while we're on the phone, and she's just straight up ignoring me, and I'm like, Mom, hello? Allison? And then she's like, what? And I'm like, are you going to answer me? And she's like, I didn't even hear you. And I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so turns out my mother-in-law, she called me back or sent me a text message like 5 minutes after we got off the phone. She's like, so turns out I blocked you. And I was like, I told you. Like, I wasn't mad about it. I knew it was accidental, or I guess I should say I assumed it was accidental. Because, you know, this is somebody I talk to every single day. Now, I never asked her. I have no idea if when she unblocked me, she got all those voicemails. Because I'd be curious about that. But, like, I mean, we're talking, this is somebody I talk to every single day for the most. I mean, of course, there's some weeks that I, you know, would love to not talk to any of the parents for, like, days on end. But I can't do that because I've already set this, like, precedent of, like, this is what we're doing. This is how we do it. So I just wanted to share that fun little story with you guys. I don't know what I did in terms of, like, recording setup because I legit cannot see the timer on this. So I have no idea how long I've been going. Wow, 20 minutes. All right. So, let's get to last week. So, last Sunday, I finally got to record a WIP Chat. If you guys were sticking around when I was sick and I had the week leading up to the event, I had a new video every single day for a week. And then one day I actually had 2 videos go live because I needed to put my actual WIP Chat up as well as my Alice video. So you guys probably got real spoiled. You're like, oh my god, look at her, like, churning out all of the entertainment and giving us these amazing videos. Probably nobody said that. I'm just boosting myself up here right now. Okay, I had to turn this tiny human down. In case anyone's curious, she should be asleep right now. But naps are like a thing of the past here. Anyway, so I usually have, you know, a couple videos pre-recorded, ready to go for those weeks that I just don't have a lot of time, or just in general. But because I did 8 videos in 7 days, I had, like, nothing left in the tank. I had one crocheting video, and I did put that up. If you guys are interested in any of my crochet content, I will leave the playlist for that up in the eye. I do have another unboxing coming soon. I don't know when, because I have to actually film it. So, you know, there's that. But I just didn't have the energy with being sick and being tired and being exhausted. Like, I was physically and mentally drained. So, like, actually sitting down to record last week felt like such a feat, but also such a huge accomplishment. So, yay me. I hope that you guys enjoyed that video. It seems like many of you did. This is very coincidental. I have, this tray is from Munimade. And it was the one just sitting next to me. So I've got the trash can from Munimade, and I got the tray from Munimade. Anyway, so Wednesday, Jesus. Monday, it was like a huge snapback to reality. So Monday morning, we do occupational therapy and speech therapy with my daughter. We are now down to once a month for the 2 of them. And we do them on the same day. The OT comes to our house, and then when that's done, we pretty much get ready and we go over to the speech teacher's office. There's enough time for her to go play on the playground. But I had emailed both of the teachers because I was like, I don't know. With the protocols for, the CDC keeps changing the protocols for COVID, and I wasn't feeling great, and I didn't want to do something to potentially put someone else in harm's way. So I had emailed both of the teachers, and I said, you know, I don't know what the protocol is, but I'm 2 weeks out right now. You know, please advise what you'd like me to do, or, you know, if you need to reschedule or whatever. So the one gets back to us and actually says, hey, I tested positive today, so we're gonna have to do her session virtually. And I was like, oh, okay. And the other one said, this is actually my first day back. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's just the level of people who have been getting this particular variant just seems like insane. My husband and I were having this conversation the other day about how, like, when this first happened, it was like, do you actually know anyone in real life who's had this? And now it's like, do you know anyone in real life who they haven't been affected, or their family member hasn't been affected, or their best, like, everybody's just getting hit. And if you guys are people who think this is no big deal, it's just a cold, you know, you're probably not watching my channel, to be honest with you. But you can keep those thoughts to yourself, because I can tell you very much it is significantly more than just a cold. As somebody who is nearly 3 weeks out right now, I still have lasting symptoms. Not nearly to the extent that they were, like, when I first got sick, but, you know, I pray that I don't have any long-term effects. I try not to think about that because then, like, it makes me more anxious. Yay! Anyway, so we had our OT over Zoom, which, like, let me tell you, if you've never done any kind of virtual schooling with, like, a 3 or 4-year-old, it's awful. It's awful. There's nothing fun and exciting about it. Virtual learning is not meant for small children. Thankfully, the sessions aren't too long. And at one point, like, our OT was like, you know, you could just take her out if you want and we can keep talking to you. And I'm like, well, she already knows that you're there. Like, I can't, it's not like she's like, who are you talking to? Like, she already sees you. She's been sitting in the high chair for 20 minutes at this point. And she did surprisingly well, but, you know, a lot of stuff that we do doesn't really translate to over the internet. You know, discussions of potty training, you can have a conversation, but you can't work on any skills. Things that involve fine motor movement, you know, she can tell me what to do and I can try to implement it, but I'm not a trained professional. So, it was, you know, it is what it is. And hopefully the next time we see her, we will all be back in person. But then my husband opted to take Briar to speech on his own. I wasn't 100% feeling confident in going. It's in a church, which, like, it's just the location of it. And, you know, there are people in and out of there all day long. And, like, God forbid I was still contagious. I didn't want to potentially, I don't know. I didn't want to potentially cause harm to someone else. Sorry. I feel like I said that earlier and I don't know a better way to describe that. Those were a bunch of, like, little plastic shards, not plastic, like drill shards. So that's why I was putting them in there. Anyway, so he took her, like I said, to speech. And then, he had to go to the UPS store, or as Briar keeps calling it, the PS store. She kept saying, like, Daddy's taking me to the PS. And I was like, the PS? Yeah, the PS store. And I was like, the PS store? And she's like, PS store? And I was like, oh, UPS? And she just looked at me, she's like, no. I'm like, yes. So, my husband gets these giant bags of packing peanuts, and they last for a decent amount of time. However, he had been needing to get packing peanuts for quite a while, and then COVID hit, and then I was like, well, there is a company that ships them, but it's crazy expensive to ship them. Why am I getting all of these drills? I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. It has, like, all of this, like, extra pooling around it. Which I hope that's not an indication of, like, how the rest of this canvas is going to go. So, only on the first color in the first little section, but we're gonna be optimistic, you guys. If you saw the unboxing for this, like, you already know I have thoughts on it. And that's one of the reasons why I opted to do it. I thought it was unique, and I wanted to see if it was worth it. For those who, I'll get back to the UPS store in a minute. If those of you who have ever purchased from Bella Sephina, a lot of her art is legally licensed art created by artists. So this particular image was created by a graphic designer, and she purchased the commercial license for it. So, you know, something that doesn't have an artist's name attached to it, that doesn't need to be paid, like, recurring licensing fees to, like, is it the same kind of attention given to it as it would be if this were a piece from, like, Sherry Baldy, for example, who does a lot of work with Bella Sephina? I don't know. So that's why I opted to choose this for my canvas. I also think it's cute, and I like that it's, like, a dark version. If you guys didn't see that video, and you have no intention of leaving this video to go watch it, which, like, you can watch it afterwards, don't worry. I'll throw up a picture here so you guys can see what it looks like. Because I know this is a very large canvas in a small section. So anyway, my husband had looked into buying these packing peanuts from Uline. He gets a lot of boxes from Uline. Like, they literally just bring their not yet folded, I don't want to say decompressed, that's not the right word, but just a stack of them with like a zip tie around it. And then they just drop it off on the doorstep. But the packing peanuts, even though it's super, super light, they still have to put it in a box that's like 5-6 feet tall because it's a huge box of packing peanuts. And it costs like $100 and something, like $142 to ship it. And he's like, that's okay. So, he took her to the UPS store, which happens to be right by Five Below. And, my daughter loves Five Below. I mean, who doesn't love Five Below? Which, are you guys interested in seeing a craft haul from Five Below? Because I have a bag of stuff that I got. I haven't filmed it. I obviously wanted to film it and then, you know, shit at the fan. But if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. Because I would definitely film that if that's something you'd like to see. It's something you'd like to watch. Anyway, so he took her and he told her that Five Below was closed. And she's like, oh, okay. But it was one of those days where, like, everything she did was driving him nuts. And I couldn't do anything because I wasn't with them. And I felt bad. Listen, there's more days than not that my kid's driving both of us nuts. Like, she's driving me insane today. Insane today. Like, if I still have any hair on my head by the end of this day, I'd be shocked. That was a super tangent. But anyway, that's what happened on Monday. Actually, interesting. I ordered all of this yarn from Joann's, I want to say it was New Year's Eve. And I got my order split, don't know why, into 4 packages. I bought yarn for a temperature blanket, which now that it's taken this long, like, the steam's already out of my sale for that project, so that's fun. And I got some yarn to make a baby blanket for Briar. And then I just got a couple other yarns that I thought were cool and had ideas of what I'd like to do with them. Like the one I'd like to make a scarf out of. Anyway, so they split it up into 4 orders. And when I tell you, like, this wasn't like a huge order or anything like that. Like, I got one that literally had 2 skeins of yarn in it. And I was like, cool, all right. But they came FedEx. 2 of them came UPS and 1 of them came USPS. You're going to tell me it's more cost effective for them to charge me no shipping at all and then to split my package up into that many different shipments. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. So, but I have an idea for a temperature blanket. If you guys don't know what a temperature blanket is, it is a blanket that you specify whatever colors you want for different degree ranges. So, like, I'm just making numbers up here. You could say from 0 to 10 degrees, you want it to be white. And then from 11 to 21, you want it to be yellow. And you just make ahead of time your guide, your key. And then you look at the temperature every single day and you crochet or knit a row. Or however you're doing. Like, I've seen people do them where they do them in granny squares and then things like that. Or, I don't know, just different. I've seen temperature snakes. Cool things. Anyway, so the point is, you can do it for a historical date or you can do it for, like, the year. Most people don't finish them because they get overwhelmed. I was so gung-ho and so excited to do that as, like, a project for myself. And then it took 2 weeks for me to get my yarn. And I was like, thanks, Joann's. Thanks. So, I don't know. I have an idea in my head. We'll see if I can execute it. I want to make the one for Briar, which is just going to be, like, a regular baby blanket. Not, like, infant-sized blanket. And see if I don't lose my mind doing that before I take on this really big blanket. Cold water. So anyway, Tuesday we went to ice skating, and I did go with them. That was the first time we've had ice skating in quite a while. Briar got put in the penalty box for not listening. It's funny, her coach is back. She'd been out for some time recovering from surgery, And she's like, oh, I can tell that they let these kids get away with everything while I was gone. Like, she's no nonsense. And we love her. But it was funny because you could tell she was like, great, thanks, guys. As in, like, other coaches, not like the parents. Let's just hope that this trash that I keep pulling out is just for, you know, this color. Because I don't know. Anyway, so we went ice skating, and we had a couple new kids in our class. It was really funny. So I don't know. I thought that I heard them say that they were brother and sister, but they were, so there was 2 kids, 2 mothers, and each mother was like, oh, this one's my kid, and the other one's like, oh, this one's my kid. So I was like, okay. But the younger of the 2 kids was just how Briar was when she first started, like, kicking and screaming and rolling around on the ice, wanted nothing to do with it. And we assured the mom, like, look, this is totally normal, and, you know, just give him some time and he'll come around to it. And she's like, or he won't, I don't care. And I'm like, that's a little bit of a weird, like, if you don't care, if you're right, why are you there? Exactly. Not that, like, anyone else that's there is there because they are trying to get their kid to be an Olympic ice skater or a professional hockey player, but it just, the nonchalantness of it, she was like, I don't really care that much. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, not that ice skating is the most expensive at this level, but it's not cheap to just, you know, sign your kid up for 6-7 weeks of sessions or whatever it is. Because it made it sound like they had already paid for the whole thing in full, which, total side note, if you pay for the sessions in full, you get a discount. I think it's like, you save like $3 a session versus if you pay as you go. So, you know, we definitely pay for the whole thing at once because that's what makes sense for our family. But, we had stopped at Dunkin' on the way in and hoped that the, egg bites that they now sell would be something that she'd want to eat for breakfast. Breakfast is always a fight, especially when we have to go. Like, she'll take her sweet time, and then she won't eat anything, and then she gets mad, and then you get mad, and it's like, just eat some breakfast, kid. Like, we have to go. And then she did not. She ate like 2 whole bites. I was like, what the hell, kid? What the hell? And at that point, there was like no plan B. I mean, there's munchkins, but I don't think she was even trying to eat those either. But anyway, we did that, and then she started crying when we were in the rink, and I was like, what is wrong? Like, why are you crying now? Not that my kid's, like, walking around all day weeping, but it was definitely one of those, like, why are you crying? Like, where did this come from? And she really wanted to go eat at a restaurant, and I'm like, okay. That's, like, one of her favorite things to do. I don't know why, because she always acts terrible when we go eat at a restaurant. And then it turns into a not pleasurable experience for anyone, because everybody's just at each other's throats. But I was like, okay, then let's go get some lunch. And she said to us, I want to go to the real Taco Bell for lunch. Which, let me translate that. Into 4-year-old speak, that means I want to go to the authentic Mexican restaurant. Which we go to quite often after ice skating. It's not that far away. When it was warm out, we would sit outside. It has food that we all like to eat. It's decently quick. And if we wanted to do something afterwards, like if we had any errands to run, like it's not like it's taking up our whole day. Because it's really not a far drive from, like there's a Target down the street, so we've done that. Anyway. We get there, and I said, okay, well, what do you want for lunch? And she goes, a hot dog. I'm sorry, you wanted us to come to a Mexican restaurant so you could eat a hot dog? Yeah. Needless to say, this child ate all but, like, 1 bite of the hot dog, which, of course, made us giggle, because it's like, oh, okay, you really did want to come to the real Taco Bell for a hot dog. All right. But they get a kick out of her there, because she's been coming there since forever. Like, literally her whole life. But she's been eating there since she was like 6 months old. And, you know, there's always like an employee who's been there for probably ever. And, you know, they have a niece or a granddaughter or whoever that's the same age as her, and they always get a kick out of it. And it was just funny because it was like, really, this is what you wanted us to come here for? Like, my husband and I both have one of those, like, are you serious kind of moments with her, and she's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's not
and by the way, she's never ever ordered a hot dog from them ever before. Who knows if she ever will again. I don't know why this is making me laugh to the extent that it is, but it is. And I hope that you guys got a good little chuckle out of that as well. But it was funny because it came with rice and beans, and mine came with rice. And I didn't even eat the rice with mine. I just wasn't in the mood for it. And my husband ordered rice as like an addition to his lunch, and I was like, well, next time we should just give you our rice. And he's like, yeah, I didn't even think about it. Neither one of us seem to really, I don't know. I like rice with my, like, side dishes, but I feel like I usually fill up on the actual food before I get to the rice.
I like to mix my rice in.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm eating.
See, when I go to Chili's, I like to have my rice inside my fajitas, probably because their fajitas are just pretty meh to me. But anyway, I digress. So, we came home, and then, like, I crashed during her nap time. Like, I slept the entire time of her nap time, and then I ended up going to bed at, like, 8 o'clock. So, the exhaustion, the remaining exhaustion from being sick just has yet to go away. And it's gotten to the point where, like, I have been up in our craft room now, I think, 2 days in a row. And that's it. Like, that's the most I can get in a row before I'm like, okay, it just, my body just still needs to, like, rest and recover. And, you know, it would be nice if my daughter would also nap during that time. It could be much more productive for everyone in this house. As if my 4-year-old really cares what mommy and daddy are doing during her nap time. Although she definitely has some FOMO sometimes. If you guys don't know what FOMO is, like the fear of missing out. Anyway, Wednesday, I honestly can't remember what we did, but I'm pretty sure it was a whole lot of nothing. My husband went and saw Spider-Man in theaters. He had the entire theater to himself.
Rented it out. Got the whole theater.
Yep, baller status. It was funny. He was like checking. It was one of those theaters where you have to reserve your ticket and your seat. And so he just, like, kept checking it. And then he's like, after a certain time, they cut it off. Like, they don't even sell any more tickets. And he was the only one in there. So my husband's sitting in the movie theater by himself, wearing his mask, watching Spider-Man. I was like, did you stay awake? And he's like, I think so. You know?
Through most of it, I did.
You know.
There was some part near the end where it was really slow paced.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, that and the chairs are super comfy. These are those, like, loungy chairs. It is such a great movie theater. We have yet to go there with our daughter. Like, that's how long it's been since we've collectively gone to the movies. We took Briar to see Paw Patrol last year in theaters. But other than that, I hadn't seen a movie since before I got pregnant. And then, what else did we do? Oh, it's funny because we ordered from this restaurant. We haven't been doing nearly as much takeout, which has been great. But I was like, I'm really in the mood for, like, a sandwich. Like a hoagie. And he's like, okay, so I ordered from this place near us. It's a hoagie shop. And literally, they do hoagies and cheesesteaks. And it said, you know, like, estimated time. Like, 11 to 21 minutes. Great! I don't know if you've ever ordered from somewhere like DoorDash, like on a DoorDash or a Grubhub or anything like that. But usually it's like, oh, that thing you want, it's going to take you 45 to 65 minutes. And you're like, oh, cool. So the problem is they finished the food, but there was nobody to come pick it up. So we literally just sat and waited. And we ordered from this place in particular because they are very fast, but it doesn't do anybody any good if there's no drivers. If you live somewhere that does not have DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats, the way it works is the order gets placed to the restaurant And then people who are the people that are doing the deliveries, the Dashers or the Uber drivers, or I don't know what they call them for Grubhub. The Grubhubbers. I don't know. They see, you know, one near them and they pick it up. Just like they would if they were picking up like a rideshare customer. But I guess there was nobody that close to us or nobody that wanted the fare. So like we sat there and I was like, if this food doesn't get here, like Brian's going to have to leave without lunch. So that was interesting. And it ended up taking probably close to 40 minutes, which defeated the purpose of us picking a fast place. Does me no good if our hot food is also sitting there for 40 minutes. I got a cheesesteak, but the other two, Brian and Briar got like cold sandwiches. So, but I have a question for you all. Do you like sweet pickles or do you like dill pickles? I am team dill pickle 100% all the way. And because I am team dill pickle, like I had always told my husband, this is a total side note, that I don't like relish. And the one day he said to me, you know that relish, you can get a dill relish. And I was like, what? I did not know that, you know. So anyway, that was our Wednesday. And then Thursday, I went to the chiropractor. It was another super chill day. I was talking to the ladies in the office, and, you know, they're like, oh, how have you been? Because I now only go, I think it's like once a month or once every 3 weeks. And I was like, oh, I got hit with the C. And they're like, oh, man, like, a lot of people. It's been crazy, especially, like, where we live. Like, I really don't... I can't remember anything else in my lifetime spreading as rampant as this has. And I'm no expert. I don't study diseases. I don't have a log book of things like this. Although my husband likes to make fun of me because I'll ask him a question. It'll be totally random. He'll be like, let me check my log book. I'm like, you don't need to be a dick about it, you know? But... sorry, that's probably not funny to you guys, but it's very funny to me because the amount of times my husband has said to us since we've been together, well, let me check my logbook. But we had another Walmart Plus order, and for some reason, we've been having issues with bread. Like, every order that has bread in it, the bread gets canceled, or, like, they can't replace it. I don't know why they can't replace, like, a sweet roll with another sweet roll. I can understand why they're like, well, what do I replace cornbread with?
Dude,
So, I don't know if anyone took notice, but, I had to pause you guys there for a moment. My husband had a little bit of a customer service issue that we had to take care of, so I just paused the video, took care of what I needed to take care of. And by me taking care of what I needed to take care of, it was basically just me offering my, like, support as my husband's wife. That's a really weird statement to say. My husband's wife, as opposed to somebody else's wife. Or his other wife. Although, I mean, I guess there are people out there. Anyway, so, like I was saying, we have just been having really bad luck with, like, bread from Walmart Plus. And I know it's not that there's, like, a bread shortage. I mean, there's, like, a shortage of everything right now. But, it's weird what they will replace and what they won't replace. And speaking of replace, I feel like I'm going to need to replace this wax. If you guys hear me say that like a bunch of times, I usually will just keep switching pens until I have to get one that I'm like, all right, fine. I have to. None of these have wax in them, you know. So, where were we? Okay, so we were having this conversation with Briar. And look, I know that kids inherently hate to, well, follow directions, but also clean. So we had this conversation with her that you need to pick up your toys. She is getting to the point now where she will literally sidestep over something or slip and fall on something because it's in her way. And instead of just picking up the thing and keep going, she'll just be like, oh, well, let's do this now instead. And I'm like, Briar, just pick up the toys. So we told her, like, look, girlfriend, I love you, but we're going to pick up all of our toys tonight, which it wasn't even that bad. Dude, it turned into this, like, all out brawl. She refused to pick up anything, and her new thing right now is, I can't see you. I can't see you. I can't see it. I can't see that. And I'm like, Briar, if you really can't see that, we have to take you to the doctor then. And she's like, why? And I'm like, if you can't see the thing that's directly in front of you, then there must be something wrong with your eyes. I can't see it. I can't see it. We're talking about, like, literally, like, the toy that's right in front of her feet. Or, like, I'll point across the room and she'll be like, I don't see it. There's nothing else except for what I'm pointing at. See that pile right there? No, I don't see it. Or she'll cover her eyes. And I'm like, girl, you can still see and I can still see you. Like, that's the one thing is, she thinks, which I know this is very age appropriate, she thinks if she covers her eyes that, like, I can't see her. And I'm like, that's not how this works, kid. So, turned into this, like, huge brawl. Like, not violent, but just like, damn, kid, it just, my husband and I did 99.9% of the work, and then she eventually picked up, like, one thing. And, like, I know there are people that are gonna be like, well, you should just, you know, make her do it. And I'm like, the problem is, if we make her do it and she doesn't do it, then it doesn't get done. And then she's still tripping and falling over all her toys because she can't pick anything up off the damn floor. You guys, when I tell you, she literally stepped over a toy onto a book, slipped out onto her back, was like, oh, and then stood up and did it again because she just has all of her toys cluttered in one place. And I'm just like, which my mom was supposed to get us now 2 birthdays ago. These storage cubes from IKEA. And so she said to me the other day, you know, I need you to do more research on those. I'm like, what more research do you need me to do? She's like, well, you know, like, when I can go pick them up. So here's the thing. I don't know if I've ever told this story or not, but even if I have, I'm going to tell again. My parents live, like, I don't know, 20 minutes from IKEA. I live 2 hours from an IKEA. IKEA does not deliver to me, which makes sense because I'm 2 hours away. So, my mom had said to us, let me get this as her birthday gift. And I was like, cool, thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. And she went to the IKEA when it said it was in stock, mind you. And they told her they didn't have any of the storage systems. Now, I don't know if somebody was mistaken, somebody was too lazy to look, my mom didn't know where to find it, whatever. I don't know if you've ever been to an IKEA, but IKEA, like, if you don't know how to maneuver your way around there, like, it is impossible. Like, you're literally in the warehouse trying to find, like, letters and numbers that match up. It's just, it's chaos. And it's done intentionally that way. And so I'm like, what other research do you want me to do? Well, I need to know when it's available. And I'm like, Mom, it said there were multiple in stock, not just one. Multiple. My guess is what probably happened is it stated that, like, whatever color we had told my mom we wanted, maybe they were running low on that one. And so it said online that there were 7 of them, but really it was 7 of the white one and 1 of the black one. Somebody bought the black one. It came up that there were none left. I don't know. But to tell you that I was annoyed, I was like, so what else do you want from me? And she's like, well, then you need to let me know when I can go get it. And I'm like, oh my God, Mom, like, you can look it up too. What do you, at this point, my husband and I are well aware this is what's going to happen. We're going to have to drive down there, buy it ourselves, and then my mom's going to be like, oh.
Steven, give them money.
Well, let us pay for it then. Or, you know, like, and the thing is, we tried going once, and they did not have it when we went. And it ended up being this, like, pit stop that we had to make. And because it's not one of those things you can just, like, run in and out to IKEA. And they don't have, like, quick curbside pickup, I don't think. I can't remember. Oh, they do. Yes. But they couldn't get it for pickup by the time we would have been there. Like, it wasn't going to be available until the evening, and by then we would have already been back home. It's just been a mess. Anyway, so I don't even know why I was talking about this. Oh, so that was going to be, like, our big thing to help us keep her organized, because I feel like if at the end of the day, all of the little toy, like, plastic toys go in the bucket, and we really enforce that when it's time to put all of the toys away, that it's not going to be, like, kicking and screaming. So anyway, that night, my husband and I were watching TV, and it was a show with Michael Simon, and he's like, this show is exactly the same as that Bobby Flay show. And I was trying to think of what show he was talking about. I was like, you mean Throwdown? And he's like, yeah. So I hit the info for the show, and it's literally called Throwdown with Michael Simon. I'm like, well, I guess they really just recycled it. If you guys didn't know, Bobby Flay's contract was not renewed with Food Network, so they are definitely replacing him in a lot of other shows with other people. You know, I don't really have many thoughts on that, but that was just a point I was making. So, the next day was Friday. She had her head teacher was here, and they did some games and some activities. She had a good time with that. Our times had to change with her teacher because she got new kids that were in a preschool, and the preschool is only, you know, a morning program. She's like, I have all these time slots in the afternoon and nobody wants them because that's when their kids are napping. And I'm like, 100%. Like, that's why I don't want a 2:30 time slot, because that's like right in the middle of my kid's nap time, which, I mean, not that she's napping, but I also don't want to give up her quiet time because that's when my husband and I do a huge amount of our work. And like, obviously if my kid went to preschool, was like in an actual classroom, we would be able to adjust those hours of work to be when she was out of the house. But alas, we don't. So, but Friday was good. We had that. She wanted to go somewhere with Daddy afterwards, and he took her to Five Below because she was sad she didn't get to go the other day. And he was like, it was a total dud there. And I was like, really? And then he took her over to the Disney store. She picked out Lady from Lady and the Tramp. And she seems to not comprehend that the dog's name is Lady, even though we have seen Lady and the Tramp. So today, after her nap, we're going to watch Lady and the Tramp again. I don't know if she just doesn't remember it or she doesn't realize that's what it is. But to her, she likes the dog because it reminds her of Liberty from Paw Patrol. So that's how Tiny Humans Minds works. Drag Race is back. I was super excited about that. How are we on time? Okay. Still got a few minutes. Let's see. Our trash came? Okay, so our trash and recycling come the same day. For us, unless there's a holiday where it gets pushed back, like this coming week, MLK is Monday. So anybody's trash is going to be shifted one day because Monday's trash will be picked up on Tuesdays. Tuesday will be picked up on Wednesday, Wednesday on Thursday, so and so forth. But we've never had it where they came through, picked up one, and then didn't come back for the other. But we have a Facebook group for our development, and I was like, cue all the angry people. Listen, if you have been telling people in the development for, I don't know, 7,000 billion trillion times, make sure you guys bag your recyclables, it's gonna be windy, and they haven't done it yet, they're not gonna do it. And lo and behold, there were like 3 posts about, hey guys, make sure you bring your trash back in and pick it up if it blows over. And it's like, guys, you're like literally beating a dead horse here. Like, nobody has listened to you. You know, there's sometimes you'll have people who will move into the neighborhood who are like, oh, I didn't know we could put our recyclables in a trash bag. Honestly, like, our guys have never said anything to us. We always have our recyclables in a trash bag. I don't know what the proper thing to do is. Like, I'm sure there's somebody out there that's like, oh, I can't believe you would do that. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what we've been, you know, told to do. But I went live on Friday, and it was so good. You guys, I have missed you all so much. It's been, like, not just with me being sick, but it has been so long since I went live on Instagram. And I went live for a while, and it was super fun. And I would love to do it again soon, you know. In case you are new to the channel and you're like, oh, when do you go live? Whenever I feel like it, really. I don't have any sort of schedule. I don't have a set schedule for my channel. I don't have a set schedule for my life. Like, I don't do things on a set schedule because I have a small child. So things kind of have to be flexible enough that I can, like, fly by the seat of my pants if I need to. And also, I'm human. I may need to rest. I may be tired. I may be doing something else. Like, I might have another project that I'm working on, or, you know, I might be out of the house, whatever it is. Like, I can't just say, oh, every Wednesday at this time, I'll be live. So So I don't usually tend to give much, much notice at all, so, yeah, I guess you can set notifications for people on Instagram as well, if you, so anytime they go live, like, it'll alert you the same way it would on YouTube. But we had a lovely Friday. That was fun. We watched a lot of TV at night, hung out in Mrs. Coffee's live, and then Saturday our recycling did come, but we did a whole lot of nothing. You guys, it is cold. And, like, I know it's winter, and I keep saying that because my mom's like, I can't believe how cold it is. We're talking, I know people are going to laugh because there are people out there who are like, oh my god, it's negative 17 degrees here. It's been, like, in the teens and the 20s, but, like, a week and a half ago, it was, like, 70 degrees. So, you know, I don't mind being outside, but I don't like when it's cold and windy, and that's it. And then that's when Briar wants to be, you know, running around. I did have, like, for a really long time, like, no outdoor play unless it is above freezing temperatures. I don't know if I'm, like, still enforcing that or not, but, this child's going stir crazy. You can tell she's, like, slowly losing her mind, because other than going out for therapy this week, and then, like, the ice skating, and the trip with Daddy, which actually it seems like a lot of things now that I'm saying it out loud, like, she really has not done anything for close to 3 weeks now. But I want to take her snow tubing. I'm going to end you guys on this little story, whatever you want to call it, and then you guys let me know your opinion on it. My husband is one of those people, he is not like a snow, ice, anything that involves water, whether it's liquid water or frozen water, he's out. So he doesn't do, like, the swimming, he doesn't do skiing, ice skating, like, he goes to the rink, obviously, but you will never catch my husband on a pair of ice skates. So, I was saying to Briar, I think that she would really enjoy tubing. If you don't know what tubing is when you go down basically like a ski hill that is made for snow tubes, and they're like inner tubes, and you sit in them. Now, some places will have it where you have to carry your own inner tube up the hill. Other places will have like a little tow rope where you can hook it and it carries it up and you walk alongside, or you sit on it while it goes up. So I've been looking into a couple tubing places, and I showed her a little video, and she's like all in. She thinks this looks super cool, which I'm not surprised. So my daughter is 40 inches tall. The one place, any child under 42 inches, so 41 inches and below, they are required to go on the kiddie hill. The kiddie hill is for kids only. So my husband's like, so you can't even go down with her? And I'm like, no. And he's like, so what are you supposed to do then? And I'm like, you literally walk them up the hill and then you wait for them at the bottom. Now, listen, that does not sound like my idea of fun, because I don't want to be walking up and down this hill all day long and not getting to go in the tube and go down the hill. That's the best part of tubing, is the actual tubing part of it. But I digress. Then there's another place that at 40 inches, they have to be 40 inches or taller, and then they can do, like, the bigger hill. But if she measures, like, close to 40 inches. If she's just a hair under it, and she doesn't get to go on the one with me when she thinks she's going on the one with me, she's going to be upset. And then, that's fun. And then there's another place that lets them do it, but they decide, like, day of, if they're going to be open for the day. Which, can you imagine, like, being an employee for a place that, like, you don't know until the day of, like, if you're going to have to be going into work or not? And I understand it's because they need it to be certain temperatures for the snow to be the right speed, the right texture, all that kind of stuff. And then there's another one where she can go on with me, where we would basically independently be doing it in our own inner tubes, but I could, like, hold the edge of her tube and we can go down together, which I think would make my husband the most comfortable. But that one is also the farthest away, so I just don't know what the right thing to do is. And I know this kid is all excited to do it now, and, you know, it sucks, because, like, I remember with, Hershey Park, sorry, I just lost where I was working, all I wanted was for her to get to 36 inches so she could ride the next level of rides. Like, she could ride the non-baby rides by herself, or certain big people rides with mommy. And then when she hit 36 inches, it was like the first summer of the pandemic, and I was not comfortable with that, so we didn't go at all. And now she's like at this weird height that like, can she? Can't she? And I don't want to tell her we're going to do something fun and exciting, and then just, you know, nobody wants to set their kid up for disappointment. You know what I mean? So I think, let me know what you guys would do there in that situation, and leave me some snow or snow sport related emoji to let me know you guys have made it all the way to the end. If you guys enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more content like this, or, you know, nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. While you're there, hit that notification bell. Hit that notification bell.
Dang.
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record when my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!